Hello and welcome everybody to Crypto Rosetta. My name is Savage. I hope that everyone has been watching the videos and managed to take advantage of this move to the upside that we were looking for. We were also talking about some potentials for extending down here, but I did say yesterday, be careful around this top end zone because we've actually met the requirement and we could look to actually turn around. And we did from that point, and we've actually had this nice powerful move to the upside. So we're going to be discussing where we think this is going to go and sort of a couple of target zones that we could look for here. So we also talk about a few of the possibilities after we have completed this move. Okay, so before I jump into that though, I just want to say thank you for watching. If you're enjoying the content, please smash that like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, turn on those bell notifications so you never miss a video, and leave us some feedback down below. Also in the description below you'll find a link to Discord, check it out, it's free to join. Okay, so once we were looking for here, so this move here is quite interesting at the bottom end of this, so we can count this in a few ways here. So we just need to sort of be careful how we count it as to how we get our end target. We can break these down into smaller waves where this is a 1 2 1 2 1 2 3 4 5, and then basically it would mean that we have a sequence of 4s and 5s to the upside here. So the target zone we're looking for is in the zone of this 24.942 to this 26.156. Though we need to be cautious because we have taken these highs. So technically speaking, this fifth wave can actually complete at any point and turn around. So once we do complete it, it'll be important to see whether we break back below this low point here. If we look to break down below this sort of 21.351, then we can confirm that this is completed here and there's no further extension. Until we do though, we need to be careful of that retracement. But let's get into the upward move at the moment. So what we're looking at here, I'm going to just jump down into a smaller time frame here. Because of the mess in the bottom here, we can count this in a couple of ways. So we're going to go over a few of those, and what that would be is, so this looks quite messy up the top here, but we're going to discuss what this move could be. So effectively this is looking at this as a 1 2 1 2 1 2, in which case we would have completed this third wave here, and we'd actually be looking for a fourth wave here down to the downside. So the target zone for this is actually a bit lower here, be this 24.335 as the 236. It has however come down and made a 3-wave move, so it is possible it could complete here, in which case we could be looking for this move to the upside here. And the target zone that I had for this off of the lower range here of this 382 was this zone here, but if we just pull it off of here, potentially it is a little bit lower. So this 25.017 to this 25.200 area. So we can see that would take us right in the zone of this previous of this blue line here. So this blue line is significant because it is this previous high point. So this is something we just need to keep an eye on. It is possible we could get a rejection off of there. So if we do actually look to push up here one more time for this fifth wave, what we could then get is an additional this circled yellow wave as a third. Basically looking for this as a fourth, then we'd be looking for this to complete as a fifth, and then looking actually for this fourth wave down again. So the top, basically what we're looking for here is this extension. These might not come down as deep because of how sort of strong this third wave is. They might only come towards the top end, which would start adjusting the target zones. But effectively what I'm looking for here is whether we do get additional fourth wave structures, which depending on how deep they go, like I said, these things can change as depending on how high or how low this fourth wave comes. But if we did follow this, we could look then potentially to a move up towards this 26.236 to this 25.858. So this is looking for these additional extensions. If we do actually start to break down from any of these moves and we start to move below that 50% zone, so I mean it depends which one we're talking about. So if we look at this yellow count here, we start to move down past this 23.5 area, that would sort of indicate that this is no longer valid. And alternatively for this first count here, we start to break below this 23.465 and start heading towards the 618 zone, it becomes less likely that we're going to get these extensions. So that's something we're going to have to just keep an eye on within the structure. So there is potential here that we do get a couple of additional fourths and fifths looking to push us up. So we're going to discuss some target zones in a second, but I want to just throw out the the two ways that I'm looking at this. So the alternative way is just looking at this as a 1 2 1 2, in which case we can argue that the third wave is now completed into this high, where we look at this as a 1 2 3 4 5. It is possible we could also say there's a little bit more in this, and actually this third wave is here, but it's much of a muchness. The difference, if we look at it like that, then the other targets, the other targets that we talked about will be in place. So I'm looking at both sides of the coin here effectively. What we could be looking for then is that potentially we're looking to either complete this wave 4 here, and we're looking for this push to the upside towards this 25,353 to this 25,080 area, in which case we'll still be looking for that potential of looking for this next for an additional fourth and a fifth. So one of these options has an additional fourth and fifth. So this is the sort of simplest one, where we actually push up here, we find a fourth and a fifth. Alternatively, we could have an additional fourth and a fifth. So we need to just be careful on this move here. So effectively what we'd be looking for then after this completion into this zone 4 with the 5-wave move, like I said, this could also not be completed yet as a corrective move. We could see this play out as an A, come back up, and then we actually push down a little bit low and come into this 24,189 area, which would then actually make this fourth wave down here at this 382. So we got a few options. We need to just see how it exactly plays out. If we do push down deeper here, this would be an interesting zone, this previous structure here, and that does line up with this 24,198. If we do then push up for a fifth and we look to retrace one more time for a fourth, the zones we would be looking for, so it's quite a wide range here, because it depends on what structure we get playing out. I have highlighted basically the 146, the 236, the 0.382 and the 50%. So all of these zones could be interesting, especially so this 236, if we do get a deeper fourth here, which actually comes back into this zone, this one would be quite an interesting area for me, depending on how high this fifth wave goes as well, because we need to just bear in mind sometimes these things can extend and push these target zones up slightly. So these are all things that we need to just keep in mind here. So if we do then complete here and we get a retracement, the fifth wave potentially off this 236 would actually look to take us up towards this 25759 to this 25406. This would be a zone of interest to me, and potentially look for a completion of this fifth wave within here. Like I said, until we actually break down though past this low point, we need to just be careful, because depending on which option of these completes, what we need to be careful is on the retracement to see whether we get support again. If we fail to break this low and we find support between this 0.5 to the 786, it could indicate that we are looking for potential to have an extension again, where this becomes a 1 and a 2, and then we look to push up again. So this is something we just need to be careful. We can see that this 0.618, 6.5 area is also right bang in the middle of this sort of consolidation area. So it will be interesting to see if we get this, if we get a move to the downside here, whether we can manage to break through these zones. And effectively what we would be looking for, these target zones will change depending on how much higher we come here, but effectively would be looking for this retracement, a deeper retracement down towards this sort of 19,366 to this 1721. So this will change depending on where this move exactly completes, but once we get a decent rejection, we can start to sort of map this out better, as to a sort of a more precise target zone. But it wouldn't be surprising if after a move like that, you get a move back down here and it comes and back tests this previous channel it was sitting in. So this is something we just need to keep an eye on. If we do actually look to break down from this fifth wave, I'd be looking towards this, towards both this top of this channel line as well as this support zone here. But we need to also be careful, because like I said, there are a few options. Previously, in the previous video, we could still be in a fourth wave here. We could be in an X wave. There's a few things. We're gonna do a separate video on that a little bit later, and then we're gonna talk about some of the macro sort of scenarios. But there is potential that this could break down and take this low again. So we need to just be aware of all these different options. Okay, so now I'm going to also talk about some potential targets. So I worked these out earlier. Basically, this green line here with the yellow writing is the 1-to-1 of the wave 1. The 2.618 of the wave 1 is actually up here at this 25,654. So we can see that there's a little bit of a cluster developing here. We've got this, the 1382 of this wave 4 to the upside is this 25,399. So we can see there's a little bit of in this zone here. We've got that previous top in the blue line. We have 1-to-1 of wave 1 here. We have 2.618 of wave 1. So what I mean by 1-to-1 is off of this fourth wave, the 1-to-1 of the wave 1. So the same length as the wave 1 that began this move. This 2.618 is the fib extension of that wave 1. So we can see there's a few little sort of cluster of things saying that we could be looking potentially for a reaction around this point. And this high point is also in this area. So you can see I've also just, I mean, this is not set in stone. There's only 2 touch points, but I've also just projected this line across here from these 2 highs, and you can see that we also have this with sort of within this zone here. So it'll be interesting to see exactly how we react in this area. If we do, however, push up a little bit higher, this 1.6618 zone, this would be this 26156. That could also be a little bit of an interesting zone. One area that I haven't actually included as a line off of this, but is still relevant. So if we're looking at this as a potential for a flat correction, if I come here onto this A wave high, why won't you place? Get up there. There we go. Okay, and then I come down onto this B wave low here. We can also see that 1382 sits right here at this 25,387. So, you know, there's a few things within this zone that are giving us a bit of confluence. The 1.618 is obviously the higher end of this box here, but we can see that there is a bit of confluence in this area of this 25.4. I mean, really it's from this 25.494 all the way sort of to this 26.156. But right in the middle here, we got quite a lot of confluence around that 25.5, 25.4 area. So you know, it'd be interesting to see if we do get a reaction off that zone. I will be watching it and I'll try to keep you up to date as best we can. But effectively, what we need to be aware of is that we could still break down for a 5th wave here, or alternatively, this could become an A. We still need to retrace down for a B, and then we actually look to push up one more time for a C wave. So these are all the things we're watching. We need to see how this reacts. If we fail to take this low here, though, like I said, what we need to be aware of is for as long as we don't take this low, this can extend up. So we're going to have to watch this retracement within here as well and see whether we get a decent rejection and we break down, or whether we actually look to find support and then potentially look to push up one more time, in which case we'd have to be looking for the possibility then that within the structure we could be getting additional 5-wave moves developing to the upside. But there's nothing confirmed with that yet, so yeah, I mean, we got to see how this reacts. We've got to watch these levels, see how we react. I do think that there's going to be quite a big fight around this zone. You know, there is quite a lot of confluence in this area, and if we did push up higher, a zone that I'd also be looking at potentially would be this 382 up here, which brings us closer towards that 1.618 of this A wave, if we're looking at it as a flat. So that 0.382 of this entire move would actually be here, like I said, at this 27,399. So this also lines up with some previous structure here. So, you know, it would be an important area if we do move up into this zone. So we're gonna have to keep an eye on it. Okay, so I'm going to leave the video there. I hope you found it useful. If you did, please smash that like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, turn on those bell notifications so you never miss a video, and leave us some feedback down below. In the description, you will find a link to the Discord. Come check it out. It is free to join. Once you're in the general chat area, just add mention member staff, and we'll be happy to help you out with anything you may need. In the description below, you'll also find affiliate links for BYBIT and PrimeXBT, both great exchanges that we use on a regular basis. Check them out. If you don't have an account, using the affiliate link does help support the channel, and we do appreciate it. Everyone, have a great day. We'll see you in the next.